Behind the Shades.
My name is Daniel Jackson. I was born in the United States in a state called New Jersey, little town right next to the Delaware River, where there was a little battlefield there where the Hessians fought. And I see dead people, but they're not really dead. They have just moved on, but I see them. I have been seeing them since I was 3 years old. My whole family saw them because of living in that town, because of that battlefield. But by the time I was around 18 years old, no one else was seeing them as much as I am. And then it just has continued on all the way into my 20s, 30s, 40s. And then right before I turned 50, as I had a big event happen that my wife went away on vacation. Um, and for those 2 weeks that she was gone, I was seeing everything imaginable you could think of that was in a scary movie going on in my house. But that was just a test for me. They were testing me to see if I was going to move forward with this, what we would call a gift or an ability. And I decided to move forward with it. And because I did, now I see things differently. But not only do I see things differently, I understand things differently as well. Because when you see as many what we would call dead people as I do every day, you're going to ask questions. And the source of information that I get my information from are what we would refer to as archangels. They're not men with wings. They don't have shields and a sword. They're not fighting a battle in heaven, all that mess. That's told to you by the people who want to tell you how to live your life the way they want you to live it and give them 10%. How did they know about 10% back then? Because the people who wrote those books and all that stuff, they're kings and queens. That's how. It's all about power and control. But yes, I see things differently. I understand things differently because not only do I get information from these archangels, I also other spirit talk to me as well, and they don't say the things you think they would. They talk the same way that we do, but we would think they have some secret special message from the other side. Most of them don't. But the thing about spirit is some spirit want to be seen, but most of them just don't. Because there's gazillions of them, but not all of them are heard because why? They are living a life uninterrupted now. So I am able to get this information, and with that information that my spiritual guides, archangels tell me every day, I know things differently than people think they are or believe they are. But the reason they believe a lot of this stuff is because we have been conditioned. We have been brainwashed into thinking so, because they don't want us to realize how much control and power we have over ourselves. Because if we found that out, we wouldn't need to rely on their control and power.
So sorry, let's take it from the beginning then. When did you discover this gift and how were you able to recognize it as such?
That was right before I turned 50. Like I said, I've seen spirit my entire life. I just really never knew why. But it was right when I was about to turn 50. When they were testing me with all this stuff, I sought out help for that. And I had a paranormal group come to my house, and they they had so much information they got from my house that they quit on my front lawn and didn't want to come back. Um, but then I sought out some mediums, and I found 5 of them. None of them knew each other, but every one of them told me the same story about me. And one of them in particular, where she had me come to her show because she said she wanted me to see how things work, which I didn't understand at the time, but I do now. And when I got to the show, I didn't tell her I was coming, but when I got to the show, I walked through the door with my wife, and she was at the back of the room, and she saw me and like locked eyes with me and watched me walk through the room and sit down. And I looked at my wife and I said, that was kind of creepy. What was up with that? And we just thought it kind of strange. So she read like 8 people in the room out of the 50 that were in there, and I happened to be the second one. And everything she was saying was dead on. But it was at the end of that show that I went down and introduced myself, and And she said, "Oh, Daniel, that's what I talked to you about 2 weeks ago." I said, "Yeah, on the phone." She said, "Yeah." She said, "I want you to stay after everybody leaves because we need to talk." And then I kind of felt like I was a kid, with your teacher telling you, "Okay, you got to stay after school, kid, because I got to talk to you now." And I'm like, "Oh crap, what does she got to say?" But she made light of everything for me. She said, I understand you're seeing a lot of spirit." I said, "Lady," I said, "it's like being in a room with 1,000 people, except nobody leaves and more just keep coming in. And that's how many I see every single day. And I still see that many every day, still to this day." And she said, "Yeah, but there's a different reason there." And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Well, they're coming to you. It's not like you're just walking in and there they are. Everywhere you go, they are because they're coming to you." And I was like, "Well, okay, what's that supposed to mean?" I said, "Why are they coming to me?" She says, "Because you look like a beacon of light." She said, "When I saw you walk in the room, I saw you." I said, "I could feel you on the other side of that door." I said, "That's strange." She said, "Well, yeah, because I don't normally have that with regular people." She says, "But when spirit sees you, they see your body frame. They see your frame and they see your frame, but they see a light inside of you. That's your soul. Everyone has one." She says, "I don't see that with you." I said, "What do you see?" She said, "You look like a big ball of light." She said, "I close my eyes, I see a big ball of light." She says, "You're glowing right now, right in front of me. When I close my eyes, I see a big ball of light," because she's using her third eye. This is what happens. And I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "What's that mean?" She said, "Well, they're coming to you because spirit thinks you're the light into heaven." And I said, "Excuse me? What do you mean by that?" She said, "That's exactly what I mean by that." And I said, "What am I supposed to do with that?" She said, "You need to have a sit down talk with God or higher power, whichever you want to do." So I said, "Oh," she said, "I don't know. You don't want this to go away." I said, "No," I said, "It's been my entire life. I'm just used to it." It's kind of like when we're kids, our mom and dad feed us green beans, and then 30 years later, you like green beans. Why? Because you get used to it. Well, I'm used to this now. So she pointed that out to me, and I said, "Well, I guess I'll go home and have a talk with God."